Welcome everyone, and thank you very much for joining me in this video. I don't normally do a video on YouTube back to back. I did a video yesterday, so I wasn't going to do a video today, but I have to because it is an emergency video for a company that is going public on October 3, 2024, and it has real potential due to things I'll explain you in the video. But the thing also is that in this video, I'm going to cover two companies. So the first one that you're going to see me cover in this video is something you really want to know about. This is very interesting, extremely interesting. They're both going public and they're both very interesting in their own ways. In fact, they just might be the most exciting IPOs of 2024, in my personal opinion. Personally speaking, for me, I would pay attention to them both if I were you. And so let's start with the first one, because the first one is very interesting because it involves you'll get a really good taste of what political insiders, how political insidership works, right? So being a political insider, which I think is just horrible, but yeah, to the credit of this IPO that I will cover, to their credit, they acted very good, right? Very awesome, professional. And to be honest, I trust them now more than ever. And I respect them because they did something very awesome. Back in 2020, a pandemic hit the United States. And we had the shutdowns and we had the mandatory masks, or they were going to come out. All these things. But if you were a political insider, you knew about these things and what laws or what government spending was going to occur. You knew about it ahead of time. And wouldn't it be strange, or wouldn't it be illegal in a way, or wouldn't it be wrong, just horrible in my opinion, if, let's say, two people involved in a political party all of a sudden out of nowhere, out of blue, out of thin air, created a company all of a sudden, just before government funding was and contracts were going to be rolled out for masks, and they create this company. And oh yeah, we can do this. We can mass produce masks. Yeah, right. It was probably imported from AliExpress, China, whatever. I'm just guessing. And they get a $600 million contract out of nowhere. A company that just popped out of nowhere. Right? Yeah. But to the credit of this IPO, to the credit of this company, things were not the way it was going to happen. And yeah, okay, let's get to it. All right, guys. So Chainbridge Bancorp is seeking a $46 million IPO. Like I said, I respect this company, and I'll explain the reasons why. The bank has shown strong revenue growth and high quality loan portfolio. What makes this specific bank so unique that I think it's something to look out for? It's because 98% of their entire business clientele has to do solely with the Republican Party. And I'm not here to say that, vote for Republicans, vote for Democrats. I'm not even mentioning anything about voting for whoever. For example, on Reuters, Republican Party's top bank, Chainbridge, aims for $160 million US IPO. So the McLean, Virginia-based company, which only has one branch, that's all, just one branch, 84 employees, has beaten bigger financial rivals to become the must-have partner for political work for the Republican Party. The company was founded by former Republican Senator Peter Fitzgerald. Chainbridge has worked with the campaign of every presidential nominee from the grand old party since John McCain 2008 going forward to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not involved, by the way, in anything wrongdoing here. What I'm going to show you later is, you'll see, you want to know, trust me. It has nothing to do with President Donald Trump. Another interesting part about this IPO is that they're offering 1.8 million shares, which is pretty cool, right? It's a low float. And it was founded to provide commercial banking services across the continental US, Puerto Rico, US Virgin Islands, etc. And the clientele that they cater to is campaign committees, party committees, corporate and trade association PACs, super PACs, or hybrid PACs, non-committee, 527 organizations, leadership PACs, and etc. Of course, Bloomberg is going to come up with a title which says where candidates stash all their cash, referring to the Republican Party. Donald Trump's 2024 campaign, for example, guys. So Donald Trump's 2024 campaign has its main account there at Chainbridge Capital. So does Ron DeSantis' presidential run, the Republicans' National Committee, and dozens of other PACs and congressional candidates. The bank's fortunes are closely tied, says, to the party, and they warn that if there's a negative impact on the Republican Party, it might affect us. What if, let's say, and I'm not promoting anything, don't, Democrat people jump at me. What if Donald Trump wins the elections? Would it make change? Would this stock, ticker symbol CBNA, that's what their ticker symbol will be, would that stock go higher after the elections if Trump wins? I think it would. They had 27 million in 2022, 31 million in 2023, and 21.1 in 2024, giving it a 41.8% increase in 2024. Think about that. Political party, connections, the Republicans, big elections coming up, maybe Donald Trump wins, money pouring in, because this is the bank that the Republican Party and the candidates and Donald Trump, everyone's using to park their money, right? So, like I said, if Trump wins, this stock could go higher, and it's only 1.8 million, float. Net interest income after provisions for credit losses, 25, 27, and then 19 for 2024, and the margins low. All right, so the net interest margins are kind of low at 2 to 3%. Here we can look at their book value since 2007 going to 2024, constantly increasing. The company has $13.5 million in cash. They have $1.3 billion total liabilities, and their free cash flow is positive $17.8 million. And now let's go to the website called Semaphore. And Semaphore isn't coming up with their own, they didn't make this stuff up. They're just referring to things that occurred in 2020. In 2020, there is a strange tale of a $457 million deposit, 100 million masks from China, and one tiny bank. Basically, there was a company in 2020. Now I think it went out of business now. How weird. In 2020, this company just was born out of nowhere in March of 2020, out of nowhere, right? On March 23, 2020, called Blue Flame. And this company managed to grab an award from California. So the state of California was going to give out a $500 million contract for whoever can, immediately come up with producing masks and so on. And they got it, which is weird. They were just, they just came out of nowhere. How in the world, how did they get it? And this company, Blue Flame, had their account with, their bank account, they had it with Chainbridge, right? Chainbridge Capital. So that's how Chainbridge Bank comes into this whole thing right now. Now, they have nothing wrong doing here. They actually did well. I'll explain what happened. So, sudden realization by executives of Chainbridge Bank, which housed Blue Flame's account, that it simply couldn't hold that much money because they're a small bank. They're very small. They couldn't take that money. They would have had problems legally. So the executive says, "I hope you're using M as a Roman numeral for thousands and not M for millions." A Chainbridge executive wrote a colleague after being told that the wire was on the way. That's half our asset size, and there could be a problem on our capital ratios. His colleague responded that Chainbridge CEO and its president are very skeptical about this. If it ends up being real, they said they would need it off the books ASAP, as soon as possible. But it's a tiny bank. It made just $9 million in profits last year, and in early 2020 had just $762 million of deposits, supported by $64 million of capital. Even parked in riskless treasury bills, a deposit of such a big size, such as Blue Flames, would put the bank dangerously close or over the federal limits, which invites OCC penalties and heavy supervision. Long story short, the founder of Chainbridge Bank, former senator, also the CEO of Chainbridge Bank, decided that they would not accept this money, and in coordination with JP Morgan, they blocked that money coming from the state of California to Blue Flame's account. And Blue Flame wasn't able to get that money, and they complained that they went out of business because they had expenses and all this stuff, which they were just created in March of that year. Mr. Newsom was in charge of California at the time and of that deal. Blue Flame Medical LLC, a Delaware-based company headed by two Republican operatives who jumped into the medical supply business in the same year. The pair, Mike Gola from Washington, D.C. and John Thomas of Southern California, had vowed in their words to help fight COVID-19 with their industry's broadest product selection from hundreds of suppliers and so on. The main reason why I actually brought this up is because if people look up this IPO to do their due diligence, they might come up across websites or something that links to Chainbridge and this, and might think that something's going on here, shady, whatever, something stinks here. I want to deal with this because Blue Flame, for example, had the nerve to file a lawsuit against Chainbridge Bank, which if you're interested in investing in the IPO, you're going to say, what's going on with this lawsuit, right? In March of 2023, a panel of the U.S. Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals affirmed the U.S. District Court to the Eastern District of Virginia's ruling in favor of Chainbridge. So Chainbridge did not act wrong. Everything is fine on their end. And you know what? At the end of this whole thing, like the way I see it, Chainbridge, wow, okay, they did well. They did well. They did well through the whole thing, so I like that. Let me know in the comment section. I think management did well. So let me know in the comment section below what you think about this whole thing. I think that this is an interesting IPO. Now let's move on to the next IPO, which is coming up on October 3, and you might want to learn about this one. Keep your eyes on it. I don't know, but I'm going to let you know about it. The company is called BingEx Limited, and they're filing for a $100 million IPO. What makes this company interesting is two things. First of all, the Chinese stimulus that is occurring right now and it still hasn't ended. China is thinking about injecting $165 billion into the Chinese economy. You've already seen, I'm pretty sure, the Chinese stocks exploding, right? And the second part about this is that this BingEx Limited is actually legit, and they're not, just some made-up trash company trying to take advantage of the markets and so on. This is officially the largest independent delivery company in China. The IPO range will be 15 to 17 bucks, 4 million shares offered, deal size $64 million, and they're going public on October 3. So BingEx Limited was founded to develop a network of delivery persons for time and quality sensitive delivery of products. It has received $400 million from investors including Snow Eagle, SIG China, CDH Venture Capital. So according to the SEC filing, we are the largest independent, on-demand, dedicated courier service provider. 33, nearly 34%, let's say, in 2023 market share, 34%. They're serving 295 cities. They have 2.7 million registered riders, 88.9 million registered customers, and they have a growing revenue also. So in 2022, they had $560 million. It goes over $600 million in 2023 and 5.8% higher for 2024. The gross profit loss goes from 36 million to 54 million, and the gross margin is on average of about 8%, and the gross margin is actually kind of low at 8%. They have $113 million in cash, $81 million in total liabilities, and their free cash flow is positive $11.5 million. Let me know in the comment section below what you think, and I wish you guys all the best. Take care.